Who needs a tour guide? I circle the churches on the map and we head out the stadium through a different exit. We head down the steps and past the statue honoring the Longhorn Band, UT's Eder Arvin Alumni Center just behind it. Wait, Bailey says. Slow down a sec. I turn around. What? She looks up at the building, at the sign in front, the home of the Texas Exes. Then she turns back to the stadium. This looks familiar, she says. Well, it looks a little like the other gate entrance. No, it's like it all looks familiar, she says. Like this part of the campus looks familiar, like I was here more than once or something. It feels familiar. She starts looking around. Let me get my bearings, she says. Let me figure out why this place looks familiar to me. Isn't that the point of all this? That something here isn't supposed to look familiar? Okay, I say, take your time. I try to encourage her, even though I don't want to stop here. I want to get to the churches before they close for the day. I want to find someone to talk to. I stay quiet and focus on my phone. I focus on figuring out the timeline. If Bailey is onto something, if we aren't walking completely down the wrong path, it has to have been in 2008 that Bailey was here, while Bailey and Owen were still living in Seattle, while Olivia was still alive. The next year, Bailey and Owen moved to Sausalito, and any time before that, she would have been too young to remember much of this, if any of it. So 2008 was a sweet spot. If Bailey is right about any of this, that's when she was here. I searched for the football schedule. I searched for the home game schedule from 12 years ago. But as I start to pull the past schedules up, my cell rings, blocked, coming up on the caller ID. I hold it in my hand, unsure what to do. It could be Owen, but I think of Jake telling me not to answer any unknown numbers, and it feels risky. Who else it may be? What other trouble that may cause? Bailey motions to the phone. Are you gonna get that, or just stare at it? Haven't decided yet. What if it's Owen's though? What if I click accept, but I don't say anything, waiting to hear what the caller has to say first. Hello, Hannah? The woman on the other end has a high-pitched voice, lispy, irritating. It's a voice that I recognize. Belle, I say. Oh, what a mess this is, she says. What an outrage. Are you okay? How is Owen's daughter? It's Belle's attempt to be nice, but I know that she doesn't say Bailey. She says Owen's daughter because she can never remember Bailey's name. It's never been important to her to learn it. They didn't do this thing. You know, she says, they. Belle, I've been trying to reach you, I say. I know. You must be beside yourself. I'm beside myself. I'm holed up in St. Helena like some kind of common criminal. Camera crews camped outside my door. I can't even leave the house. I had to have my assistant drop off roasted chicken and chocolate soufflés from Bochon so I'd have something to eat. She says, where are you? I start to sidestep the question, but I don't need to. Belle isn't waiting for my answer. She just wants to keep talking. I mean, this whole thing is just ridiculous. She says, Avid is an entrepreneur, not a criminal. And Owen's a genius, though I don't need to tell you that. I mean, for crying out loud, why the hell would Avid need to do this thing anyway? Steal from his own company? This is what, his 8th startup? This late in his career, he's going to start inflating values and lying and stealing, or whatever the hell they say he's doing. Give me a break. We already have more money than we know what to do with. She's fighting hard, arguing forcibly, but it doesn't change what she's leaving out, what she's refusing to acknowledge. Avid's previous success, the hubris that comes with it, could explain why he refused to fail now. Point is, it's a setup, she says. By who, Belle? How the hell do I know? The government? A competitor? Maybe some hack who wants to get to the market first. That's Avi's theory. The point is that we're going to beat this. Avi has worked too hard for too long to be taken down by an accounting mishap. And I hear it then, what people, Patty, Carl, Naomi, must hear when they're talking to me. I hear the crazy. She sounds crazy. Maybe that's what happens. When the bottom falls out, you lose the ability to modulate, to make your words make sense to the rest of the world. So are you saying it's a setup or an accounting error? I pause. Or are you just saying it's everyone's fault except for Avid's? Excuse me? She says. She's angry. I don't care. I don't have time for her. Now that I know this conversation is going to a place where she wants something from me, I don't have anything left to give her. I look at Bailey, who is watching me with questions in her eyes. Why am I sounding increasingly angry? What does this mean for her father? I need to go, I say. Just wait, she says, which is when she starts to get to it, what she actually needs. Avi's lawyers are having trouble reaching Owen, she says, and we just want to make sure, we just want to know he isn't talking to law enforcement, is he? Because that wouldn't be smart for any of us. If Avi didn't do anything wrong, what does it matter what Owen says? Don't be naive. It doesn't work that way, she says. I can almost see Belle sitting at the kitchen island on the stool that I made for her, shaking her head incredulously, the gold hoops she never takes off slapping at her high cheeks. How does it work? Entrapment, forced confessions. Is Owen that stupid? She pauses. Is he talking to the police? I want to say, all I know is that he isn't talking to me. I don't offer Belle that though. I don't offer her anything. We are in different positions, she and I. She isn't worried about Avid's safety. She isn't sincerely questioning whether the government's acting in bad faith or whether Avid's guilty. Belle knows that her husband is guilty. She's just trying to spin it to do what she needs to do to stop him from paying for it. My concern, on the other hand, is how to stop Bailey from paying for it. Avid's lawyers need to debrief with Owen as soon as possible so the story stays consistent, Belle says. We could use your help on this. We all need to stick together. I don't answer her. Hannah, are you still there? No, I say, not anymore. Then I hang up. I hang up and go back to pulling up the old UT Austin football schedule. Who was that? Bailey says. Wrong number, I say. Is that what you call Belle these days? She says. I look up at her. Why even pretend? She says. She's furious and she's scared, and apparently I'm making that worse as opposed to better. I'm just trying to protect you from some of this, Bailey, I say. But you can't, she says. That's the thing. No one can protect me from this. So how about you agree to be the person who tells me the truth? She looks older than she is suddenly. Her eyes are unwavering, her lips pursed. Protect her. The one thing Owen asked me to do. The one impossible thing. I nod, holding her gaze. She wants me to tell her the truth, as if that is a simple thing to do. Maybe it is simpler than I'm making it. That was Belle. And she essentially confirmed for me that Avid is guilty, or that at the very least he has things to hide. And she seems surprised that Owen has gone off the grid as opposed to helping Avid hide those things. All of which makes me wonder what your father is hiding and why. I pause. So I'd like to find these churches and see if that offers any clue as to why he felt like he had no choice but to leave us. I'd like to figure out if it is just about the shop or if what I'm suspecting is true, which is what he's running from goes back further than that, I say, and it's about him and you. She doesn't say anything. She stands in front of me with her arms crossed over her chest. Then suddenly she drops them. She drops them and moves in a little closer to me. So when I asked you to tell me the truth, I meant like, don't lie about who is on the phone. I went a step too far in a good way, she says. It may be the nicest thing she has ever said to me. Well, I was trying to listen. Thank you for that, she says. Then she takes the map from my hands and studies it herself. Let's go, she says.